Hello, my name is Jason, and in this second video I will cover two topics: who to involve in your project partnership, the policy responsible authorities, and who else, the stakeholder groups. So let's start with who should be involved in our project. So Interreg Europe is about policy learning. The main objective of a project is to improve the policy instruments of the participating regions, the policy responsible authorities. These are the organizations in charge of the elaboration and delivery of a specific policy. This is the core target group in Interreg Europe, and they have to be involved as partners. For at least 50% of the policy instruments addressed, the partners have to be the policy responsible authorities. This is very important for you to keep in mind because it's an eligibility criteria. If the policy responsible organization cannot be involved as a partner, then they must participate in the project as an associated policy authority. They will be officially included in the application, in the partnership section. They don't have budget. It will be the partner financing their travel and accommodation costs to be involved in the project activities. They will have to sign a declaration during the application stage, and their involvement will be regularly monitored during the project implementation. Another policy relevant organization from the region must be involved as a partner. This is very important. Here in the screen you can see the template of the declaration. This is what the associated policy authority will have to sign, where they will confirm that they are responsible for the policy instrument address, that the topic tackled by the project is in line with the scope of the policy instrument, that they will engage in the stakeholder group and participate in the project activities when possible, and finally that they will consider the possibilities for implementing the lessons learned from the project through their policy instrument. What are other criteria that you need to keep in mind when selecting partners? We think that it's important to select partners based on their competence and experience. You need to keep in mind that Interreg Europe is about learning. It's about learning from each other, exchanging experience. So you need to select your partners taking this into consideration. It's also important to involve regions with different levels of development and from different geographical areas. And this is also an eligibility criterion. You need to involve partners from the 4 areas that you see in the screen. So where do we see this in the portal when you are writing and filling in your application form? You see in the screen that section D.1.2, addressing partners. There you would need to assign to each policy instrument the partners that are linked to it. This is the case for every partner, except for the advisory partners, which do not address any policy instruments. They are there to support the whole partnership through a specific competence or knowledge. Also in section D.1.2, you will need to explain for every partner what is their involvement in the policy learning process, paying particular attention to the specific issue addressed by the project, and also describe what is the partner contribution to the project, what they will bring to the cooperation and what they will benefit from. And this you will have to do for every partner. It's a little bit different for the advisory partner because they are not addressing any policy instrument. Finally, who else should be involved in our project? And here we talk about the stakeholder group. This is a group which includes organizations that are relevant for the issue addressed, that are important in the policy-making process, and we should create one group of stakeholders per policy instruments. They are involved in the exchange of experience process, they participate in the project activities, they don't have budget, their budget is covered like with the associated policy authority by the partner, and their composition of this stakeholder group will vary according to the issue address. But usually this is the main type of stakeholders that you will have in the group, the type of organizations that will participate in the project. Of course, the first is the associated policy authority, but then you can have development agencies, SMEs, NGOs, networks, clusters, and also research and technology centers. This is reflected in the portal, in the application form, in section D.1.3, stakeholders, where you will add one by one all the organizations that will be part of each stakeholder group created per policy instrument. And finally, here we would want to show you an example of a possible partnership with the policy instruments, a stakeholder group, the policy relevant authorities, the associated policy authorities. So in the example you see that we have a partnership with a project, an application that will work on policy objective 1, a smarter Europe, a specific objective 3, sustainable growth and competitiveness of SMEs. And here we have partners from 4 different countries. So as you can see, it matches the eligibility criteria that we have to have partners involved from the 4 geographical areas. We have Italy from the south, Sweden from the north, Poland from the east, and France from the west. So the 4 areas are included in the partnership. You can see also the policy instruments address, the Regional Operational Program ERDF for the Italian partners, the National Program on Business Creation for the Swedish partners, also the Municipal Support Program of Business Startup in Poland, and finally for France, again the Regional OP. So they are addressing 4 policy instruments. 2 of them are investment for jobs and growth programs. So this complies with the eligibility criterion that at least one of the policy instruments addressed has to be an investment for jobs and growth program. What do we have as partners? So in the case of Italy, we have 2 partners addressing the same policy instrument. We have the Puglia region as lead partner, together with the Regional Development Agency. For Sweden, we have the Ministry of Economy. For Poland, we have the Poznan City Council. And for France, we have the Regional Association of Incubators. You can see in the image that for 4 of the policy instruments addressed, the policy responsible authorities are involved. This is the case of Italy, Sweden, and Poland. And for France, the regional association is not the policy responsible authority, so they have to bring the associated policy authority, which is the Normandy Regional Council, who are responsible for the regional operational program. And finally, as you can see, so we meet in this case the 50% of policy responsible authorities involved in the project. We even go a little bit beyond that. And finally, for each policy instrument addressed, you can see the stakeholder group with different organizations from the participating regions. So now you know how to build a successful partnership, who to involve and who else to involve in your application. We hope that this was useful for you. Do not hesitate to contact us if you have any question. We are there to help you in preparing a successful application. Thank you very much.